What is up, guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. Welcome to the channel if you're a new subscriber, and to everyone else, what's up? We have some amazing, massively amazing footage to show you guys today. A lot of things to talk about. Now, I want to tell you first off that one of the things you're going to see in this video is a mind-blowing structure that I personally found while going through some of the old Apollo mission 70mm photographs that they were snapping while they were orbiting the moon. And in one of these images, you will see a never-before-seen structure. And by massive, I mean massive. And I know you guys like to toy with me because I love to use that word. But again, wait till you see what I found sitting in a crater in one of these images. It is without a doubt a structure. And at the size of this thing, I find it very hard to believe that it's man-made. So we'll get to that in just a minute. I'm going to hold you in suspense for a second, alright? Because we've got some other awesome footage. The first of which, sent to me by a viewer, of an object, a clear object, captured from the International Space Station, flying up out of the Earth's atmosphere, going up into space, changing direction before disappearing. So check this out and just watch the horizon line of the Earth on or about the middle of the screen. And we'll zoom in too, but you'll definitely see it when it shoots up. So check this out. Alright, did you see it? Let's play it again, slow down, keep your eye on this area right here. There it is. Look at that thing shoot out, comes up, it levels out, and then goes straight into space. Again, slow down, even slower this time. Check this out, a zoomed in shot. Watch this thing jet up out of Earth's atmosphere, kind of curve, and then stop, slow down, and then fly into a straight and steady line out into space. All of this other stuff on the window here is just specks of dust on the inside of the window. But you can clearly see this object flying up at an amazing rate of speed out of the Earth's atmosphere. So just watch this a few times. So what do you guys think of that? This is one of the best ISS UFO videos I've seen, and they keep getting better and better, so I'm really going to hate it when this camera goes offline. And thanks to one of our eagle-eyed viewers who captured this, he posted it on YouTube. I will put the link in the video description to his original video because I think he definitely deserves a like for finding this sharp eye. Man, look at this thing jetting up from Earth's atmosphere. Clearly under intelligent control, curves up and literally decreases its speed by probably over half as fast as it was going, stops and then changes direction and levels out. So big thanks to the source who sent this in. Tell me that isn't some killer footage. Now, before we get to our moon anomaly and some other UFO sightings and stories that have been happening, a lot to talk about in this video, a lot of cool stuff to show you guys. Let's go to some new imagery taken from the Soho website, from the Lasco 2 viewer. We have an image here of our sun, and if you remember the other day, we posted a video showing a very large triangular shaped object that was captured just on the edge of our sun. Well, today, we've captured some more interesting triangular shaped object activity happening near our sun. So let's go ahead and cycle through the Soho images here, and look what we found here. Boom. Another one of these large triangular shaped objects, this time a little bit farther away from the sun than the earlier images. Captured a couple days ago that we featured on our last video of the other triangular shaped object, or it may be the same one, this time very close to the sun, and that a viewer sent in to me. He circled it. There was also another small object in the vicinity of this large triangular object. So now we have another massive triangular object. caught next to the sun. And you got to go on and check these LASCO images on the Soho website. There's a lot of interesting stuff you will find. A lot of things that look like craft, things that appear momentarily that are doing something next to our sun. I don't know what, but you have images like this. And going back to these triangular craft, once again, on this same day, cycling through more footage, we found another very strange triangular craft. You're seeing that right here. And you can actually see this thing flying up. It's captured in more than one frame. So here is the close-up version. And if you skip back just 2 frames, you can see this same object flying up at a distance. So we'll go ahead and cycle back and forth here, showing you when it's first seen and then when it appears 2 frames later at a much larger view as it gets closer to the camera. So again, triangular objects captured next to the sun. 2 different objects captured on the same day in this LASCO footage. And it's really amazing to me that you can actually see this one captured in separate frames flying into view. And look at this. It has a clear V shape, identical to the V-shaped craft that have been captured countless times over Earth. The Phoenix Lights incident comes to mind, where an identical large black V-shaped craft was captured in the skies in 1997 over Phoenix, Arizona. And it would appear that they are out in space as well. But that's no big surprise, seeing that is likely the place that they are coming from. So, without further ado, and before we get to some other stuff, let's go ahead and show you the most anomalous moon structure that I've possibly ever found. And again, I was just skimming through Apollo images. I stumbled onto this one here, and I will post a link to this down in the video description. You can download it, throw it into Photoshop, play with it, and try to figure out what the hell this thing is sitting in this crater. So here is the original image. And this is an Apollo 10 image, and the image number is AS10-28-3992. And again, I'll post a link to it down in the video description. I was skimming over it. We have this beautiful shot looking down at the moon as they are orbiting around it. And I was zooming in, getting as close as I could, when I noticed, even at far away, you'll notice this object sitting in a crater, casting a shadow itself into the crater. And as we zoom in here, you'll probably begin to see it. It's all the way over to the left, sitting in a little crater, completely inconspicuous. And again, I just found this thing by chance. I was about to skip to the next image, and as we zoom in here, you'll see it sitting in this crater right here. And I'm sure you can already start to see it sitting on the right edge of the crater. You can see the shadow of this thing casting down. Let's zoom in even further and get a nice close-up. So here is the close-up view. And I just got one question. What the hell is that? You are seeing the close-up view. Nothing has been changed. Nothing has been tweaked. There have been no edits, contrast, brightness, nothing. This is simply a blown-up version of this crater that you can zoom in perfectly when you download it. And we have this, what I can only say looks like a craft or a very large piece of machinery sitting on the edge of this crater. You can see it. It almost looks like a claw. You know those claws that you see in a claw machine that reach down and pick up the toys and drop them down? That's almost what this looks like. The end of this thing almost looks like it has like 3 large prongs or claws that are sticking out of it, and then a large white cylinder shape on the back of it. And you can see the shadow being cast by this thing down in this crater. And at the distance that they were at, this thing is I can't even tell you how big this thing is. As I said before, massive. And I sure as hell mean it this time. This thing is big. Now here is a contrast and brightness enhanced version, where I've simply brightened the image and just upped the contrast a few ticks, just to give us a little bit more definition. And you can clearly see that this object sticks out from the background. It is sitting in this crater, casting a large shadow. Is this some sort of drilling contraption? Because it does sort of look like a drill. Or is it simply a large alien craft parked on the rim of a crater? The same type of craft that the Apollo astronauts were heard talking about after ham radio operators down on Earth tapped into their radio feed, their private radio feed, when they were walking on the moon, and they were speaking to mission control about seeing alien craft parked on the rims of craters. Is this what they were talking about? Because this photo right here, this can't be denied. You can't look at this and tell me this is something natural. This isn't a glitch. Glitches do not produce shadows, nor do they have a defined structure. This is an object, an artificial object, that has pieces to it. You can actually see pieces to this thing, and it simply blew my mind. And if you've looked at as many moon images as I have, and seen everything there is to see as far as anomalous structures, you will be able to have a special appreciation for this image right here, because this is one of the best, and it's, to my knowledge, never before been seen. So, download the image yourself, and look at it at all different zoom levels. You can see this thing almost without zooming at all. When you're just looking at the original image, you can see this thing sitting in the crater. It sticks out like a sore thumb. You can see the shadow it casts. And whatever this object is, it does not belong there. Check out the photo yourself. The link is down in the video description. Found here, brought to you by SecureTeam. Let me know what you guys think. I swear to God, I love this work. And this is why we do it, for the new discoveries. Now, before we get to some UFO sightings, we just have one more piece of space-related news. First of which is this new Mars rover image, snapped taking a picture of the surface of Mars. And if you'll notice, this little guy right here, look at this little guy, leaving a trail behind it as it moves across these rocks. So let's go ahead and zoom in here, and you can see the trail left by this little guy. So could this be evidence of bugs on the Martian surface? Because this thing is pretty small. I would say maybe the size of a quarter, possibly a baseball. But really cool image, mysterious image nonetheless. I'd like to know what this thing is. So let's get on to some UFO sightings. The first of which comes from a viewer who is capturing some very strange lights in the sky during the 4th of July. He sent me this video just today. It has not been posted online yet, and they had no idea what these things were, so check this out.
Fuck the fireworks. See these though? They still passing by. Look, he just came from over there, so they not coming from the same spot. I'm in the sky, just floating. See that shit? They watching us. Look at this, if I get zoomed all the way on it, it's still like fucking too bright. That shit crazy.
Bitch that came over here and landed right. I mean, I would have pissed on myself.
Oh my God.
You remember Independence Day?
Right, and it's going slow as hell. It was not fireworks.
No, I know it ain't no fireworks.
I'm recording this shit.
They don't move like
that. Look at this shit. And it looks like it's real close, you know? What the fuck is this?
Hello?
They move in a tandem too. Look how close he is.
I know, I'm already on my way.
Look at that. Still over there.
So again, captured over Chicago, 4th of July, more lights in the sky. It is a global phenomenon. And if you've been watching our channel, you know that. So many pieces of footage featuring these anomalous lights. Speaking of which, we have another piece of footage captured by a drone operator who emailed me some 4K drone footage. He does this professionally. And he captured another strange light orb flying over Hollywood, California. And you're seeing that footage here. And the light appears over to the left-hand side, comes up to the edge of the screen, and picks up speed before disappearing out of frame. Now, this was captured by Mr. Jay Verkamp, and he is a professional sound mixer and drone operator in Hollywood, California. Runs a website called sounddronetech.com. And he captures these beautiful aerial shots, and he just happened to catch this strange orb moving through the sky. And so he sent it over. So maybe you guys can check this out. If you saw it over Hollywood, California on August 3rd, shoot me an email, and big thanks to Jay who shot this over to me. Now, apparently there was a mass sighting over Bakersfield in California recently that was featured on the local ABC 23 news channel, where apparently a lot of people saw what they were calling an alien object up in the sky, maneuvering. It was a large, they said it was extremely large, way larger than a drone or an airplane or anything like that, sitting over the skies of Bakersfield. And you're seeing footage from that newscast here, where they spoke to the people, a whole group of them who witnessed this thing. And I'll post a link to this news story down in the video description. And one of the sources, Mr. Ricardo Pantoa, said that he's seen a lot of drones and police helicopters and airplanes, but he said he's never seen anything like this in his 23 years of living in the neighborhood. And they also said that the size of this thing, and just the fact that it was so high up in the sky, that they said it just couldn't have been a drone. So apparently it was a big enough story to get on the local Bakersfield news, and so then you happen to see this thing, definitely shoot me an email. I'd like to get some closer video or images of it. Now, lastly, I actually have a couple other moon shots to show you, some other anomalous moon images that a few people have sent me. But first, I want to show you a set of images sent to me by a viewer who was working on a remote island located in the British Virgin Islands. And he's standing at the job site here, and he noticed, once again, what he described as a cloaked object that had, again, and as we've seen many times, cut this very mysterious shape up in the clouds. And look at this. There's a few images here. I'll show you the best ones of this sort of T-shaped object. And look how laser cut this thing is in the clouds. I mean, you don't see this type of stuff with clouds. I mean, these straight edges, these straight lines, creating these shapes that look like craft. I mean, you get saucer shapes, you get triangular shapes, and then you get shapes like this where there's like so much detail that has been carved out in these clouds by what the source believes was something moving up through the clouds that left this anomalous hole, and this anomalous shape in the clouds. So, very, very strange. We've been seeing a lot of these things all over, holes that are being punched in the clouds as if there's something large up there that we can't see, that leave behind evidence that they were there in the form of these strange outlines left in the clouds. So, big thanks to the source who sent this in. So, a lot of cool stuff to talk about in this video today. We've shown you the new ISS footage of this object shooting up from the Earth, changing direction and slowing down. This new moon structure sitting down here in this crater, casting a shadow. Mind-blowing. The objects that seem to be moving and leaving trails on Mars, the lights glowing in the sky over Chicago and all over the world that are leaving people stumped, the strange clouds, and before we leave, we'll show you these couple of other moon images here. The first one was sent in by a viewer of another strange object seen hovering over the moon. You're seeing that image here. We will post a link to this down in the video description. We'll go ahead and zoom in. This is from Apollo 14. And again, another anomalous object seen hiding in the background above the moon, up in space, almost as if to watch the astronauts as they're walking on the moon. We know that they were being watched. Some of them have even come out and said that they were being watched. So look at this. Here's a close-up image. Very strange shape to it. So yeah, the moon, it's an endless, it's a great hobby. We'll just say that. It's an addictive one. UFOlogy in general is very addictive, and I guarantee you will have many sleepless nights. If you're an insomniac like me, that makes it even worse. So let me know what you guys think about that. The last image here, once again from the Apollo Image Atlas, and unfortunately, they have removed the high-res version of this. So this is the only image we have here, and this is from the Apollo 15 mission. We have a shot overlooking a hill on the moon, taken with the 70mm Hasselblad camera. And if you look above, we have these two white objects sitting up in the sky. No high-resolution version, which is strange because most of the images on the website do have high-resolution versions, like the structure in the crater that we showed you earlier. But mysteriously, there seem to be other images that used to have high-resolution versions, but they have been taken down as of late. And this is just one example. But again, you can clearly see the two lights or objects sitting above the moon. So check out the Apollo Image Atlas. You'll find it in the links down in the video description. And let me know about everything you've seen today. If you have your own footage, email me. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Stop by and say what's up. I always chit-chat with you guys. And stay tuned, because I've got a lot more coming. But you guys already know that. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you back in just a bit. Stay safe, guys.